A young woman thinks she's getting married to a good man and moving to another country to start a life with him. But she's actually been unknowingly kidnapped by ISIS and held in Syria with no contact with the outside world. Thankfully, her father's best friend is a mysterious figure known as the Freelancer, a world-renowned mercenary with a specific set of skills who specializes in assassinations and extractions. It's a familiar yet solid premise, but the way Disney Plus Hotstar's new series The Freelancer stretches that promising story to a remarkably dull 4 episodes is truly impressive. Based on Shirish Thorat's book A Ticket to Syria, The Freelancer is the latest from the Neeraj Pandey Hotstar universe, which started with 2019 Special Ops, followed by its 2021 prequel series Special Ops 1.5, The Himmat Story. And now we get this, his least watchable show yet. That the mind behind Baby is the creator of this show is just plain disheartening. Written by Ritesh Shah and Benazir Ali Fida and directed by Bhav Dulia, The Freelancer stars a stone-faced Mohit Raina as Avinash Kamath, aka The Freelancer. Avinash is an ex-Mumbai police officer who in a few short years has built a reputation amongst the global intelligence community as a formidable military asset specializing in covert ops and assassination. Does that sound like a bloody cool one-liner origin story to you? Would you like to find out how that happened and how he went from Mumbai police inspector to globe-trotting brutal badass? Well, you can't because they don't really get into it. Instead, we get a series of disruptive, lifeless flashbacks of Avinash as an alcoholic ex-cop, his strained marriage, and him dealing with personal loss, all of which we're somehow expected to care about. In short, this is an action thriller show that doesn't really have much actual action, but it does have a whole bunch of wafer-thin personal drama that it just can't pull off. But the real issue here is that as a character, Avinash, aka The Freelancer, is dull as hell. Characters on this show are constantly discussing what a formidable force of nature he is, but we barely get to witness it ourselves. It's partly because the series doesn't know what it wants to be. What at first promises to be a taut, tense, action-heavy show, at some point decides to become a more realistic, grounded, Argo-style portrait of the intricacies and complications of extracting someone from a hostile nation. So saving the girl and getting her home safely is no longer about going in all guns blazing. Instead, it's about going in through embassies, diplomats, and back channels and convincing the CIA to help. After a point, his specific set of skills becomes just sending texts, changing SIMs, making calls, looking stressed, and traveling a lot. At times, I felt like I was watching Netflix's Extraction, but from the hero, Tyler Rake's secretary's point of view. Someone has to make the calls, book his flights, request an in-flight meal, coordinate with his team, create a WhatsApp group, book his hotel room, get him a local SIM, maybe look at foreign exchange, find cool local cafes. This isn't an action thriller, it's an admin thriller. But unlike Argo or our own Airlift, the makers of The Freelancer fail to master even an iota of tension, urgency, or atmosphere. There's terrorists and bomb threats and high stakes and a race against time, and you feel none of it. You're not on the edge of your seat as much as you are reclining all the way back in your seat, struggling to stay with this flat, poorly crafted, terribly structured series. What exactly was the pitch of this show? Okay, so we've got a fancy military assassin guy who has to save the girl from ISIS. Nice, sounds really cool. Do we get to see him in action a whole bunch? No, we'll just spend most of the time focusing on how he used to be a sad alcoholic and now he just looks tense and stares at emails. Oh, what? Sincere as he is, as the main man, Mohit Raina is a far cry from the actor who you just couldn't look away from in Amazon Prime Video's Mumbai Diaries 2611, largely because there's so little to his character here. Even when 2019 Special Ops lacked slickness and finesse, it had enjoyable figures. Specifically KK Menon's lovably arrogant Himmat Singh. But here not a single character leaps off the screen. A wasted Anupam Kher, for example, plays Dr. Khan, Avinash's intelligence gathering handler and guy in the chair. But he's reduced to a device to spew exposition at us about the rise of ISIS. Because the writing of this series isn't interested in compelling storytelling as much as it is smugly regurgitating its research at us and showing off the fact that the makers have clearly read some articles and know some stuff about ISIS. The stilted juvenile dialogue also certainly doesn't help. For whatever little it's worth, production designer Sukant Panigrahi does an impressive job of creating ISIS-occupied Syria and giving us a sense of life forever under threat as we see harsh terrains and barren landscapes filled with training camps, armed militants, and even a few tanks. Like The Night Manager, The Freelancer ends with the promise of more. This was just part 1 of the series, and the real fun is just about to kick off. But I'm certainly not holding my breath after 4 unforgiving, terribly paced episodes of empty build-up. The Freelancer may look like a tense terrorism kidnapping extraction story, but it's actually more of a heist thriller, because it took 4 hours of my life that I'm never getting back. You can watch The Freelancer on Disney Plus Hotstar.